Howdy and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll have another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3, Combined Game Playthrough number 3. This will be the November-December 1939 turn. Last turn was pretty pivotal. I think we're going to see the collapse of France. The Japanese pushed the Chinese back, but it cost them big time. That's basically a summary of last turn, and so we're going to get started. Let's take a look at starting money, and let's see where we got. Germany at 1, we got Japan at 6, Italy at 0, the Soviets at -1, the Commonwealth at -2, France is at 2 after I did finally do their production. They came out, they basically bought some militia and that's it. The US is at 1 and China is at -2. Next turn, the January-February 1940 turn, all the major powers are eligible for gear-ups. So that being said, I have put in bids for the various major powers. Let's go take a look at how those bids came out. So we'll take a look at the bids to start off with. We have basically every major power. We have the Commonwealth bidding 1, Germany bidding 1, the Soviets bidding 1, the French bidding 1, the US bidding 1, Japan bidding 1, and Italy bidding 1. The only major power that didn't bid was China because they felt, well, why bother to waste our time? We're going to get a 0 anyways, so it really doesn't matter too much. So alright, let's go take a look at the political initiative track. See how this is going to pan out. Alright, we have the Commonwealth bidding 1. They're getting a +4. Actually, let me start off by moving all these guys aside. It's probably going to come out just the way it looks. Okay, so Commonwealth has a 5. That's going to give them first. And by the way, they still owe a political option from 2 turns ago. They still owe a line minor. So that's probably what they're going to do this turn. The Germans are bidding 1. They are getting a +3. That's 4. The Soviets are also bidding 1. They're getting a +3. That's 4. So we'll look at the political effectiveness track. We see Germany is at 5 and the Soviets are at 4. The London Naval Treaty no longer modifies the political effectiveness. So the tie will be broken by the Germans' political effectiveness. They will be second. The Soviets will come in third. The French and the United States also bid 1. The French have a +2. The United States has a +2. So we look to political effectiveness. We see the French are at 4 and the U.S. is unfortunately at 2. So the French break that tie. It puts France in at 4, U.S. in at 5. We have Italy bidding 1 and Japan bidding 1. So they both get a +1. So again, we'll go over and look at the political effectiveness. The Italians are 3. The Japanese are a 4, right there. So the Japanese will break that tie. That will put them in at 6. The Italians at 7. The last card is at the Commonwealth, and the last card is at Italy. And there's China in 8th, where they usually are most of the game. Alright, I think I already mentioned, but I think we know what the Commonwealth's going to do, so let's go and take a look at that. Okay, as I think I mentioned, the Commonwealth still owes minor joins in IPO5. So they're going to play that to take care of what they owed from 2 turns ago. It's all been paid for. The markers and political influence has already all been put out. The only thing we need to do is have the Commonwealth activate a minor. And I think what they're looking at, activating Norway, I think. I was going to activate Poland. We have a +4 French there. But you know what? I think we just might activate. No, we're not going to activate Poland. I'm not going to activate Poland this turn, I don't think. I think we're going to activate instead. Let's see, where's France? They're fourth. Okay, yeah. We're going to activate Norway. So we're going to go over here to the status display. I'm going to grab the markers. Alright, this actually might be kind of important the way we do this, or more beneficial to the Commonwealth the way we do this. Let me dig out the Norwegian. Oh, we don't need the Netherlands anymore. He's gone. Anybody else on here that's gone? I don't think so. I think just the Netherlands is gone. Okay, so what we got here is we have a -3 German, we have a -2 Soviet, and a +4 Commonwealth. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually activate the Soviet. Now this is a -2. It's going to push the marker 1 hex away from the Soviet to there. Now we're okay with that. Now I think what we're going to do is we're going to activate the 4 Commonwealth. That's going to be basically 2 per hex, so it's going to go 2, 4, straight towards the Commonwealth. Then we have a -3 German. Normally the hex costs 2 for the hex and then 1 for the boundary or border. -3, so it'll be cost 3 for this hex. So if we look at the straight line puts Norway in either of these 2 hexes. So since it's England moving it, or the Commonwealth moving it, -3, it's 3 points to get to this hex. We're going to move Norway right there. Yeah, we're kind of happy with that. Definitely happy with that. Something actually went well for the democracies for once. And that will be the end of that. And the Commonwealth does not need to roll to end the political phase, because there's now a +1 to the die for that. So we will move down to Germany and see what the Germans want to do. Okay, Germany is going to play French option 5, surrender. This is going to be a Vichy French surrender. And according to the optional rule, which is I like it, because otherwise the French will never Vichy. If I was the French player, I would fight on to the bloody end. Don't care. But, so that's why I use this optional rule. Okay, so the optional rule is, while Paris is enemy controlled, the major power may install Vichy France. They do this by playing FR5. France has not played it this turn. Okay, the installing major power pays the cost of FR5, but the rest of the effects are as if France had played it. France is going to skip for the remainder of this political step, except for rolling for the end of the step. So that's what Germany's going to do. She's going to play FR5 and install Vichy France. The installation of Vichy France is according to the World in Flames rules book, so I'm going to use that to do this. I'll probably do that at the end of the turn. Let's see. Okay, Germany will not activate a minor this turn, so I'm going to pay the money, do the U.S. entry, and all of France's allies and guaranteed minors get a -4. The French don't control any minors. Oh, the other thing I do with major powers that are Vichy, the major power no longer exists. Free France is not France. So any alliances that the major power had are now discontinued. And the treaties that the major power had are still in effect for the resident Vichy nation. But as far as alliances with minors, at least with France anyways, all that's going to be canceled, because no minor would take Free France seriously, like they're going to back them up or anything. So the French alliance with both Poland and Yugoslavia are now terminated, and I'll put the effects out. The U.S. entry is going to be a -8, so that's going to help with U.S. entry. And I'll come right back and see if Germany ends the political phase. Alright, let's roll a die to see if Germany's going to end the political phase. No, they needed a 1. Doesn't do it. We'll move down to the Soviets. The Soviets are going to play their option 0G, which is increased bid points. I think you can see that. Increased bid points. Okay. That doesn't cost them anything. They just get twice their political effectiveness and bid points, which in this case is going to be a +8. Alright, and then the only thing they do is roll to see if they end the political phase. A 4 does not do it. I rolled a 4. And so next up is the French. The French go is skipped. The only thing they do is roll to see if they end the political phase. They do not. And next up is the United States. They're going to play, they're going to play their 0G, increased bid points. That's going to give them a +2, or +4 rather. Yeah, because their political effectiveness is now the 2 that it was. They're going to roll to see if they end the political phase. And 4 previous political options played. 7 does not do it, so we move down to Japan. Japan, surprisingly, is going to do increased bid points as well. Remember, we got gear-ups coming up next turn. That's going to give Japan a +8. They are 4, I believe. +8, just like the Soviets. And no minors activated. Roll to end the political phase. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 previous options played, which is +5 to the die, which is 7. Actually, it's a -5 to the die, but there's also a +1. So it still comes out to be a 3. So we move down to the Italians, the last, and guess what they're doing? Increased bid points as well. That gives them a +6. I don't think we thought this through too well, but anyways, yeah. So that's basically going to end the political phase. Lots of increased bid points everywhere. I got to figure out the Vichy France thing, so I'm going to do that. And then when I come back, we're going to take a look at reinforcements and roll for initiative and the weather, and then go from there. Okay, I have finished doing the Vichy French conversion. There's a gigantic pile of land forces to come on the board in January-February turn for Vichy France. I rolled for the colonies. We have the American-French colonies at St. Martinique Island. That is Free French. The other colonies that are Free French is French Equatorial Africa. They banged the Syria roll again, and Madagascar. And they also have New Caledonia Island. That is as Free French as well. And managed to get some ships, several convoy points, 4 convoy points I think in total, and 2 tanker points. And the battleship Reiklaw ended up rebasing to Madagascar, as well as a cruiser, and there were already 2 cruisers there to begin with. So the Free French Navy actually has a navy. They have almost no land forces, 1 French 3-3 in Syria, and that is it. And no factories, so they'll have no production as of yet until the Commonwealth plays their, they have a political option that allows them to organize Free France, and it will give them a factory. Nope, I missed another convoy point in the Red Sea, and the one in the Arabian Sea. So that gives them their 4. Like I figured, that's about 4, yeah. So that one would have went to Syria, and the other one in the Arabian Sea would have went to Madagascar. So, let's go take a look at reinforcements. That's what we want to do. We'll take a look at reinforcements. There should be several units coming in this turn. There's the French land forces to come in for Vichy in the January-February turn. But for the November-December turn, we have some Germans, surprisingly. We got a sub going in the construction pool. We have a carrier air group, or CAG, and 2 militia units. That's not a lot for the Germans, but for the Italians, we have the DoDIII, DoDIII. We have a amphibious unit. The Commonwealth is getting a convoy point, a tanker point, a couple of cruisers, a bunch of land units. I believe Gort is in here. Yes, he is. An anti-aircraft unit and a militia unit for Cape Town. The Soviets are getting 2 infantry armies, one of them a Siberian. Oh yeah, and here's the Chinese. They had such a good outing. Okay, this Shanghai militia unit, it cannot be built, so that's lost. And they got 3 units coming in. The Japanese have a battleship going in the construction pool. They have a convoy point. We also have a militia, a half-decent bomber. That's probably going on map. I'm going to put the combat air group in the reserve pool for now. Gonna take a look at that. We have a transport and a cruiser. And that'll do it for reinforcements. I'm going to get these on the map. And I'll come back. We'll roll initiative and the weather and see what's up. Alright, here we are. Let's roll weather. Let's roll initiative. Okay, so the fascists clearly won again. However, they don't, well, at least the Germans and Italians don't see any impetus for doing anything much. I really don't think the Japanese care one way or another because the weather is likely to be kind of crappy. Yeah, it's like, what? 30% chance of decent weather and a 60% chance of nothing. So the fascists will agree to go last. And that leaves the Democrats and the Communists. The Democrats are going to go second rather. And that will put the Communists up first. And well, let's roll for weather. See what we get for the lovely weather roll. Maybe it'll be a 5. Oh yeah, I was off by 1. It's actually a 4. So yep, good choice on the initiative. Rain in the Arctic, rain in North Temperate, fair everywhere else. The impulse marker will be moving up 2. So I'm going to go through the first set of impulses. I don't really think there's going to be any attacks. The Germans are probably going to pick, I don't know what they're going to pick. They might pick a combined or even a land. Just get things moving over there. And they might pick they might go with the naval. The Germans might go with it. Oh, it doesn't matter because the Commonwealth goes first. Oh well. All right, I'll go through the first set of impulses and then I'll come back with a summary. Okay, have finished the first set of impulses. The only thing I have left is to take a look at Japan. I don't think they're going to do anything. They might move a few units. It's kind of garbage weather in North Temperate, but I want to give a quick look at Europe. The Germans are moving slowly due to the rain, but they're moving. The Commonwealth has got its escort. Oh, the Commonwealth. Yeah, I have to put their fleet out. They should have done that already. And so the home fleet has been deployed in the North Sea. And the communists are definitely getting the border looking a lot better. And I will take a look at Japan real quick and come back and do roll weather for the next set of impulses. Okay, like I thought, the Japanese just moved some units around. They did have the Chinese did abandon Canton. I think they think their militia army here is more valuable than the navy that was there. So they abandoned it. So the Japanese captured it. They could launch an attack right here, but the way Japan's rolling, I think they're just gonna pass on it and try to build up their forces. You notice that some parts of the line are actually missing units. They don't actually have enough units to fill all the line, and they have a serious supply problem up here. So they're just gonna bide their time right now, and we're gonna roll weather, see what that is. This may be a quick turn if the weather roll is really bad. We have a no modifier to the weather roll. And it's a 3. Rain in the Arctic and fair weather everywhere else. The impulse marker still moves up 2. And we'll go with that, I guess. And I'll be back with a summary of the turn. Okay, back to the fascist impulse, and the Japanese have decided they're going to try it. They got a 4-to-1 attack here on this hex. They will use HQ benefits from him. So that's going to be 4-to-1 plus 1 on the assault table. There's no armor involved, so let's see, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, a 2-1. Yeah, boy, that would be great. All right. 4-to-1 plus 1. Oh, boy, they just can't roll a die. They get a 4. They just cannot roll dice. 4 at 4-to-1 plus 1 is a 5. Is 1-2. So 2 Chinese units die, 1 Japanese units die. And Japanese cannot catch a break, so I'm going to do that. And then we'll come back. Oh, let's do the end of, that's going to be the for that. So I'm just going to roll to see if the turn ends. I think we need a 2. Got a 9, so we're going to go on to the communists and roll weather. I'll do that right now. Let's see. Weather roll. A 6. Well, the weather's just gotten crappier. 6 in November, December is snow, storm, rain, fair. So, and there's a +1 to next turn's weather roll. And the impulse marker will be up too. So I'm going to run through these impulses and come back and do another weather roll. Or maybe not. If the weather stays bad, you might see me back at production. The turn ended on the Democrats' impulse. The weather had gone slightly bad. There'll be a +1 to the weather roll for next turn, for the February turn, 1940. So the initiative modifiers moved back down into the -1 for both the communists and the Democrats, because the fascists didn't get a turn. Okay, so I roll for partisans, and the only place where a partisan could pop up was France, and it was no effect. And I did production, so let's go and take a look at production. So we have Germany producing 22. They saved 4 oil, and they spent 18. They're building a couple pilots, a mech corps, a whole bunch of militia, and a tactical bomber. The Japanese produced, oh, and that's in addition to giving 1 build point to the Russians for their trade agreement. The Japanese produced 13 and started with 19 and spent 13. They got a pilot, a militia, 2 convoy points, a CAG. They're finishing the Musashi. That should actually be upright because it's was in the construction pool last turn. And a militia unit. The Italians produced 7, started with 7, and they spent 5. A pilot and a naval bomber, float plane. The Soviets, they produced 8, started with 6, and spent 3. 1 infantry army. The Commonwealth produced 11, started with 9, got 1 Lend-Lease from the United States, and they spent 6, which is a pilot, 2 convoy points, and a single-engine fighter. The French produced 0. The Free French do not have factories, and I'm not generally going to keep track of the Vichy French because the only thing they can spend their build points on is Navy. And the Navy could end up eventually being Free French anyway, so why bother? The U.S. Produced 10. 2 got sent out in Lend-Lease, 1 to China and 1 to the Commonwealth. That's pretty much going to be practice for every turn. And they started with 8 and they spent 5. They are finishing a battleship, the Washington, and 2 convoy points. The Chinese produced 6, of which 2 are cadres and 1 is a Lend-Lease, so their production has taken a hit. They started with 4 and they spent 5, a garrison army and a infantry army for the nationalist Chinese. So that's going to wrap up production. I'm going to get these on the circle and get this turn put together and uploaded. And I'd like to thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. I appreciate all that. And I will see you next time.